Hello and welcome back to Inside Out. I have my beautiful friend Justice joining us today. Justice is an absolute queen of all things motherhood in my personal opinion, and I'm really excited to bring her to the podcast. She is a woman rewriting the script on what modern motherhood can look like. She's not doing it how she should, she's doing it her way. From unschooling rhythms to throwing out the rule book completely, she's created a home and a family life that challenges the norm and honors the needs of her kids, her relationship, and herself. She is also in her postpartum journey, which I'm really excited to share with you guys because she's my training buddy, and I've learned a lot from Justice over the last probably 6 months, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say 6 months.
Yeah, and we've formed this really cool friendship where it's probably the first adult woman that I've actually been like, I'll choose you. You're mine. Me too. So
Me too.
I felt like I could bring forward this conversation and just share with my audience and my community just more on you because you have such a cool story, and every time we speak, like, my jaw is dropping. I'm just like, are you fucking joking? Like, this is amazing. Like, you're phenomenal. And I just feel like it's so empowering for other women to hear stories like this. So hi and welcome to the pod.
Hi. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, babe.
So welcome. So welcome. So tell me a little bit about what life was like before kids, and then as you made that huge transition, what lessons have played out for you?
Before kids. Well, I was a young mum, so I fell pregnant at 17. So I think a big part of that was being able to having to grieve what I was looking forward to, because I remember like having a countdown to my 18th birthday and being like, yes, I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to move out of home. Like, I thought like all this weight would leave. Like, so I come from a mixed family household. So my dad, he's a Scotsman, grew up in the church, Catholic, and my mum's a Samoan raised Presbyterian lady. So
Wow.
yeah, very strong, strict upbringings. So trying to merge the two as well, although they had similar beliefs, a lot of it was like it made life very rigid. So yeah, falling pregnant at 17, I sort of had to grieve what I was looking forward to and just be like, okay, pull my socks up. This is what it is now, and become a mum before I was even a woman.
When you broke that news of falling pregnant at 17, was that something that was sort of shamed within the family, or was it something being like, oh, cool, that's normalized?
Well, because my mum was a young mum too, so she had me at 19.
Yep.
And it was so bizarre because not long before this, I had like really bad painful period pains when I was growing up. So I had gone to the doctor and like I was had all these tests done, and he was like, oh, you're going to struggle to fall pregnant. And I was like, oh, okay, like what? Like we're literally known for breeding. Like, so I was like, breeding. What do you mean? I'm the oldest of 8, so I was like,
fuck, I forgot that. I forget that.
So I was like,
8.
Yeah.
Life.
So anyways, I was so nervous. I think I took like 8 pregnancy tests when I had found out that I was pregnant. And then I even got one of my friends at the time to drive, because I didn't have a license. I got my friend to drive me to the Mater hospital. Like, and he was like, so I said, I've had 8 pregnancy tests, done 8 pregnancy tests. And he's like, so what are you here for? And I was like, I just need you to tell me if I am or not before I break the news to my parents, because I was so nervous.
Yes.
So went home and told my parents, and I was nervous as hell because, like I said, my childhood and my upbringing was very strict. You know, you don't do that. It was very like even touchy that I had a boyfriend. So told them, and they had obviously heard the news that it was going to be difficult for me to have kids. And so when I told them, they sort of saw it as like a gift from God. They're like, you know, like, if you want to keep the baby, that's all well and good, up to you. They were supportive of either way I was going to go about it. But I think had I not have gotten that information not long before, they probably wouldn't have seen it or taken it as lightly. So
I felt like it was really drilled into me from a young age, like, you're not doing anything till 25.
Yeah.
And like, it's so interesting that I fell pregnant. I think I was 25 when I fell pregnant. I had Jessie at 26. Maybe I was 26, 27. But it was so heavily drilled in. And I also, and Mum will probably listen to this, sorry, but we probably need to have this conversation. But also I never felt safe to have open, vulnerable conversations about sexuality or anything regarding sex and hormones and periods and changes in the body and things like that. Like, my mum is my safest place in the world and always will be, but I didn't have I feel like I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And that might be my own problem that I created. It might be my own story, but it didn't feel like an open table conversation ever. And if I know if I had to come home at 17, it would have been not an option. Like, no chance, nah, done. You've destroyed, you've wrecked the family.
Yeah.
You've ruined everything. You're ruining your life. Like, that would have been the opinion that would have really like put a lot of shame on me, because it was shame that you were doing anything if you didn't have a partner, like a long-term partner, right? So, yeah, that's why I asked that question. I'm like, I'm curious whether you were shamed for that or whether it was more open.
Well, at the start, that's how it started.
Okay.
But during the pregnancy, then came the shame, you know, and then the outside opinions of like our, like the community around us. So yeah, the shame came, just wasn't right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same as me, like I didn't have like that open conversation. There was no way you'd talk about sex or anything. Like I had no idea about like periods or any of this sort of stuff. Like I'd learned it at school, but I couldn't go home and ask mum and dad. Like it was so off the table.
I remember meeting my best friend in year 7. Going home and Googling on like Yahooing or fucking Binging or whatever it was. I don't think it was Google then, like on our home screen of the desktop at home, and having to delete the history. What is fingering?
Yeah.
Because I remember all the boys talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
No idea.
I was like, why would anyone want to do that?
Yeah, so like in saying that, I wouldn't bring up things to my parents. Like my parents were like, oh, you know, once you get your period, you'll means you're becoming a lady. So it was like they'd take you out for lunch and stuff like that. But it was never like on my terms. Like I could never bring up something I wasn't sure about. So sex was never a conversation. It was, it was very taboo. Yeah.
And tell me about gone through pregnancy, having a baby. So were you 18 when you had your first?
Yeah, I was 18 when she was born. So having a baby.
Yeah, exactly. And how was that experience for you? How was
tough. Very tough. So yeah, because my mum had a baby, or had me at a young age. She was like, you know, you have to move out. You have to move to Sydney. So we were here in Newcastle, but my partner was playing rugby union in Sydney. So she was like, you know, you have to move in together and see if it's going to work, so you can raise this baby together. And I was just like, the hell, like barely sure that I was doing the right thing. Yeah. And then now I'm needing to move in with my boyfriend, who at the time we didn't have a good relationship. Like it wasn't one if I was in my mum's shoes, it's not one that I'd be like, go live together. Like it was like, it would be one that I'd be like,
you're not leaving this house.
You're not leaving this house, you know? Like, so
yes.
Yeah, at the time it was so hard. And so Sydney's only 2 hours away, but I again had 7 younger siblings. So it was like I felt very alone up there, and didn't really have, like we lived together, but didn't really have him, my partner. So it felt like I was doing a lot on my own, trying to navigate motherhood and not knowing what I'm doing. Cause like I knew one thing for certain was that I didn't want to do motherhood how I had seen it, how I had grown up in it. I didn't want it to be the same. But off the back of that, it's just like, okay, so what the F do I do then? Like, what do I do? Like, it was so easy to be like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to have fear or uncertainty in my child's childhood. But like, what else do I fill it with? You know what I mean? So it was really tough. I struggled a lot. And I even had moved back and forth from Sydney. So like I would move out from my partner's house to mum and dad's house. I'd be there for a couple of months. And then when things were all right. So it was rocky. Yeah, it was hard. And because I didn't even know myself, like I was a kid, I had a baby, so I was like, I don't even know who I am, you know. And it's less, you're just going through the motion, really. That's what it felt like. I didn't really feel like this, oh my God, I didn't have a fulfillment after having my baby. Like
motherhood, totally resonate. Totally fucking resonate. Oh my God.
I loved her so much, and I felt like she was my only light, but I didn't feel fulfilled, and I wasn't sure. And I thought something was wrong. Like I was just like what do you mean? Like you're a mum now, so you should be love fine. This.
Yeah. Like 100%. And I feel exactly the same. I'm just like, why this podcast exists is because I had Jessie thinking, oh, I'm going to get this overwhelming sense. Like I say goodbye to working in the company of one of our companies with my husband, and like close that chapter, and knew that I was entering motherhood. And I was like, so fine. Yep. I'll be the fucking Pilates mom. I'll be the stay-at-home mom. Like ready for this next chapter. Hated every second of it. Yeah. Hated every second. I think I lasted So it was 7 weeks until I was like, I need to do something. What is
Yeah.
it? And I got a mentor. I started a course. Like the courses and things that I stepped and started before starting this podcast was because I was just seeking so much like outside of what motherhood looked like, because it wasn't as fulfilling as I anticipated.
Yeah.
Some people love it and that's cool. You do you, but it's not for fucking me.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's for me, and doing it 100% of the time, right? You get this unfulfillment and then you feel like you're doing it wrong. You feel like you're shaming yourself, really, like the language, yeah?
Yeah. 100%. And that's the thing. And like, because I felt like it came with so much sacrifice, and because I had been a kid and then I missed like that part of being an adult and having my freedom that I was like yearning for my whole, like it felt like my whole life, my whole like teenage years, I was like yearning for that freedom.
Yeah.
And then I
didn't get it.
got myself pregnant. And so it was like, yeah, it just felt like, I say this, but I love my kids. It just felt like one jail to the next.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
say that.
yeah. And it was hard to sort of, it was hard to navigate, because it's like, how do I do right by my child when I'm not even sure who I am yet? I'm not even sure if I'm a good person yet. Like, I've got no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, so it's tough.
And no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. There's no fucking blueprint.
No.
You know what I've been saying? 2 feet and a heartbeat. Just fucking through it all. And that wise words of Chris. Just
I say that
2
all
feet
the
and
time.
a fucking heartbeat, man.
Yeah, if you got it, that's what you need to focus on and drive forward into. It's just like, how can I best support myself right now? For what purpose am I choosing to sit in? Guilt, shame, sadness, anger. Like, there's always a secondary gain in emotion. When we're sitting in a negative emotion, we're choosing to sit there for whatever the secondary gain is. And usually it's to stay a victim. Usually it's to stay not accountable to ourselves and our behaviors and not make changes, because change is fucking scary. So is growth. I feel like as mums, like for you and I, similar age, and also, are we similar age?
Yeah.
Wait, just checking.
Yeah, girl. Almost 30.
Yeah, no, we're not a similar. I'm 33.
Yeah, we're similar. We're 3 years apart. Come on.
Yeah, but like when I was in year 10, you're in year 8. No, year 7. It's like a little bit different. It's a little bit different. But we are still similar, guys. Sorry. Off topic for a second. I was like, wait, are you over 30? Fuck, I should just assume that. Right? We are. Yeah, we are. I've said before on the podcast, I don't know if society didn't tell me that I had to be a mum, and that was your next step, that to be a mum was the thing. You had dolls when you were little, you had families, you played Barbies, and I had a pregnant Barbie and who had a baby, and you know, it was never the intention for me, I have to get married, I have to have kids, I have to find Mr. Right. That wasn't what I was like driving forward for, but I always knew I had to have a child. I had to have kids. And I became a stepmom, and I was like, I'm definitely having my own. Like, that was never in question. And I wonder if I was raised differently, or society was that little bit different on the conditioning that we raise our kids to be. Oh, you're playing mummies and daddies, like go play mums and dads at the market or whatever. And I know it's just a normal childhood behavior thing that we do, but I don't know. I wonder if that didn't play out for me between 0 and 7, would I have still chosen to have kids? Would I have been a different person that went, they're not for me? I see why people love having them. If I thought I didn't think it was a choice. I feel like that's what I felt in my heart, that it wasn't actually a choice. And when I fell pregnant, I remember when I fell pregnant with Jessie, Steve had just proposed. I had booked and paid for my entire wedding within like 2 or 3 weeks. And I mean, like, girl. I worked in a bridal salon, so I had 4 weddings picked out for my whole life since I was about 18, maybe 17 when I worked there. And I just had to, like, you just had to tell me what season you wanted and what month is it. And I've got the wedding pretty much planned in my head of what I want, where it's going to be. We looked at a few different places, book, done. Yep. And we're not ones to fuck around, either of us.
Yeah.
And then I fell pregnant, and I'm like, I bought my dress. My dress is based on me losing 6 kilos at this fucking weight, not the weight of a baby and then losing it. My wedding is 16 weeks after my son was born. 16 weeks. Like, I did the work, unhealthy things that I did. I did, loved it, got in the dress, all the things, but highly would not recommend. And I'm just curious. For me, I remember crying when I took the test, and he's just like, this is amazing. Like, this is such a blessing. Like, let's, let's just get on with it. Who cares? Like, we've got this, babe. We've got this. And I was just like, I knew it was an option not to have my child. Yeah. But I was so devastated at the same sentence. And I'm curious whether that was a conditioning or a belief that was like, it wasn't an option. Yeah. I'm wondering what would have happened if it was. Yeah. That's just something that I've spoken about before. But interesting how things play out.
Yeah. Well, so you were saying about the Barbies in our culture, like, it's the women are made to create life, stay home, and that's so that's what I just thought, you have kids, but I was so set on not having a baby, like, as young as my mum, and that's no dig, because, like, we have a great relationship now, but, like, it's it's no dig at her, but like I was just like, damn it, I didn't do it. Like I that was one thing that I didn't change this cycle. But hey, I'm picking up the slack in other places. So
100%. And I don't think your girl's going to be following the same path. And if she did, cool, great. Yeah. And I feel like you and Leppy would just take that on board and be like, all right, we've got you, no problem.
Yeah.
In the same sentence, I feel like you've put a lot of time and energy into parenting her with such a profound parenting style that whilst you're not going to, she wouldn't feel shame for it.
Yeah.
She's also won't be sitting at tables where that would be available, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. You've put it so perfectly.
Clever little girl.
She doesn't sit at tables where these things are an option. And like, me and my partner, God love him, he's the man, love you. We're both known as the strict parents at school, like where we seem very straighty 180, but it's just because we have high standards, and it's not to say like it's no dig at anyone else. Like we're very much you do you, like doesn't affect us whatsoever, but we have certain, we parent differently, we have rules, and we seem like we're tight asses, but like our kids live a blessed life. Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I wish that I did things a little bit differently with my stepdaughters. Like I was so free to, if they had sleepovers at a friend's place, and nothing bad's ever happened, thank goodness for that. But if when they were younger and they were at our place, I'd be like, yeah, of course you can go to that friend's house. I had the mum's number, like that's enough of an exchange. And it was for me as a kid as well. But now with the two little ones, the rule is, and I've voiced this to my husband, their kids are not welcome to stay anywhere else. I don't care who it is. I don't care who outside of our trusted circle of people that we've known a very long time and family that I do trust. They won't be staying at anyone's houses. And Jessie has recently been asking to go to other people's houses, and I'm just like, absolutely not. They're welcome here, no problem. Let's have a play date. They can come here. We'll meet somewhere, no issue.
Yeah.
But you are not going anywhere else. And then he sees it. Why are you so strict? The questions are starting.
Yeah, it's hard.
And even the girls are like, why wouldn't you let him? Like, and you let me. And I'm like, yeah, I let you, and wasn't aware enough of what I know now. And once you know, you do better.
Yeah.
And it's my job to do better.
100%.
So that's just my rule. And I'm going to be the strict mum, and I couldn't give a flying fuck.
Yeah. Well, see, like growing up, I always just thought that, girls get to a certain age and then they start having sleepovers with their friends. And like, I think it was about like 4 or 5, even for birthday parties. Like my eldest had just started getting invited to sleepover parties, and I'm like, girl, I will drop you there and you can stay until the sun's going down, and then I'll pick you up. It's an option that I'll take you back for breakfast, but we don't need to sleep over. Like
no need.
Yeah.
For and what? You're going to sleep.
Yeah, literally. And statistics show, the kids, and the thing is, it's out of your control. The second you say yes, and I don't it's not to instill fear into other parents, but it's just like, just have a think about it, because the second that you place your child in someone else's care, it's out of your control.
Yep.
You have no control on who comes into that house. You have no control on what they're doing or like what they're exposed to, because most of the time what you do in your house won't be reciprocated in someone else. Like, unless you've already built that rapport and that level of respect for the person that you're sending your child into their care, like it's not going to happen. That they will move the way that they move. It doesn't change because a friend's coming over. You know what I mean? And
yeah. We had Lexi. Oh, probably shouldn't say that actually, but we had one of the girls' parties a little while ago, a couple of years back, and it was year 6 going into year 7, and she had about 14, maybe 16 girls over. And it wasn't a sleepover, but it was like a party at our house, and she was at a new school for a short period of time. So this was a brand new group of friends. I'd only met a couple of parents, had not met half the parents that come. 2 people come to the door. Everyone else got dropped off and picked up out the front with their phones. Not one. And I'm like, I am a good person. My husband is a great man. We have a beautiful family. And if any of the mums ask another mum, that's cool, like trusting value on someone else's opinion of us, cool, that's great. But when that happened, I was prepared. The house was spotless because I was prepared for mums to come through, meet the family. Someone might want to stay, no problem. I grabbed, extra food and stuff like that just in case, because I would expect to walk through. I'm not out the front in the car. I've never, and that was the first time I was like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
What was interesting is that particular group had a lot of older siblings, so this was probably the norm now, and they've been through it and they've done the ropes. But for me, I'm like, no, my kid's starts year 7 now. She's not even in there yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming through into their house.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know who can come to these places when people have these things. Like, I'll always go out the back of the party. I think the first one that I've done was recently, and my oldest is in year 9, and I picked her up out the front and I texted her when I was out the front.
Yeah.
But I was lined up in in a line with all the other parents out the front, and I knew of the family, and I knew the location was not very far from my house. So I felt like that, but that's halfway through year 9.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've been in the car and not gotten out.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's a hard line too, because it's like, especially if it's your first time, like it's like, where do I need to release the reins, and where can I be that cool parent, and like, but at the end of the day, the way that I look at it, because like it would kill me to say no, you know, because to see them so upset, and it's like, I want to be that cool parent, but at the end of the day, like, your kid's safety is the top priority, and that's just the way it is. Because if I can get her through her adolescent years and she reaches adulthood and she doesn't, and that's one thing she doesn't have to heal, that's not a trauma that she has to heal.
Cool. Yeah,
I'll be standing there, you know, ready to take anything else that she needs to throw at me, whatever issues she needs to heal with me, or anything else that I've done, but that I know, and I can stand solid 10 toes down that will not be something that she has to heal from.
Yeah. And that's our job, right?
That's our job.
That's our job. And look, that's no shame to any of the parents who are doing
no
the job.
way.
Like, no shame to anyone that does things
Absolutely
differently.
not.
None. Like, I get it, and I've done things that now I do differently, and I also probably do things now that in 5 years' time I'll do differently.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm surprised in how, like, I get arguments sometimes, like not arguments, but like pushback from the girls when they're like, hey, you're going around the skate park. I'm like, the sun's setting. I'm like, no, you're not. And they're like, it's right near our house. Like, why? I'm like, because this is where you meet the wrong person, and this is where you form a connection with the older person, and this is where things happen.
Yep.
Like, hello, I've been here, and I know because, so this is my job to keep you safe from that, because I'm not going to allow you to have to go through and heal from some douchebag who thinks that conditioning a 14-year-old girl is appropriate.
Literally.
Sorry.
And so like I said, I came from a very strict household. I would go to school, come home, wasn't allowed to go to like the shopping centers or to the beach or anything like that. So I went to school. I lived in Raymond Terrace. And to get to high school, it was a 2-hour commute. So I'd have to like go all the way into town to get another bus and then go to school. So it was 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That was the only real window of opportunity that I had, plus a phone that I got in high school. That was the only opportunity of freedom, you know, that I had. And I still found ways to like, so I got myself into a situation. I was only 15 and I got into a relationship with a boy that was 18. And at the time, right, I had no idea. I was just like, oh, you know. It wasn't until like being an adult and now that my daughter's getting into, well, what is she? She's double digits, so she's almost 11. Getting into that age, I'm just like, she's not far off how old I was when I had that. And I'm just like, I can't even feel that's me going to school, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's so hard. It's
especially
so hard.
raising a boy, like, mate, I'll be drilling into him. If it's not your age, it's older, son. Like, you don't get to go, not even in when you're in like year 7 and dating year 6. Absolutely fucking not.
Absolutely not.
No way in hell, child. Like, not like, on, son.
Where's the parent? And I'm sorry, but it's like, where's the parents? And like, my parents always said, you know, my boyfriend wasn't allowed to come to our house, but I was allowed to go to my partner's now, who I've been with now for how many? Probably like 14 years. And he was never allowed to come over, but I was allowed to go there. And it's just like, I couldn't even imagine doing that. Like, absolutely not. Come, bring your boyfriend here, you know, once we get to that stage, because when we're far off from that. But it's like,
you're not there yet.
Yeah, I will be the one that facilitates that. Like, trying to be open and then also have like these like boundaries as well. It's so hard, but it's like, if you shut a blind eye to it, I'm also trying to make sure I'm aware that it's like, she will be exposed to things, like especially this year, she's been exposed to things just from being in like club footy. Like, it's hard. And I'm like, I feel like I'm out of my depth with trying to deal with this, like anything, you know what I mean? So it's like, you can't always control what's around her. So it's sort of just like navigating how to have those conversations, because I refuse to be the parent that also wraps her up in cotton wool and, you know, she's just oblivious to what goes on in the world.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, absolutely not. And then something just hits her like a ton of bricks. But it's like being aware that they don't always have to be exposed to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, completely agree with that. What do you feel like was the things that you've had to let go of emotionally, mentally, or structurally to make room for this style of parenting?
I've had to let go of guilt, shame, fear, recognizing that my trauma isn't a weight to carry into motherhood. And I used to love being the victim. I used to sit with that shit and I would write it out. Like as soon as I got pregnant, I was just like, you've done this. You know, I would be the one like pointing fingers at my partner. And although he had done like these wrong things, like I allowed these things to continue to happen and happen again over and over again. And then I got to a stage where, you know, once she starts having conversations, I'm like, fuck, if she's aware of the conversations that I'm having, like, and she's been exposed to like me and her dad not having the best relationship in the start. But
I think that's also, there's a healthiness to that though, babe, where a child gets to see their parents grow together and show that people can build and people can rebuild. I think that's really important. Something that Steve and I do all the time in our relationship is if something's playing out and it could be just like, it's not even fighting, it's just a discussion where we're like having a different opinion on something, but we're passionate where we speak as well. So that could come across and display something that it's not. So we always have a big cuddle and we, you know, we make out in front of the kids and shit.
Yeah, 100%. And she hates it, but it's just like, as long
healthy.
It's healthy because I didn't see that growing up. Like I didn't see my parents, you know, reconciling after like a huge blow up. And I never knew, me and my partner not having the ideal, healthy modeling of what a family or a relationship should look like. It's been hard because it's like, okay, what can they see or what can't they see? And then I'm like, oh, I've completely fucked them because they've just seen me blow up. And it's just like, no, like it's also human. Letting her see that you're going to fuck up. Yeah, and you're a child,
Like you're a child when you have it. You're a baby that's had a baby and like the male brain doesn't fully form until 27. Like
I can vouch for that.
Cortex ain't there until they're 27. Like, and for us, I think it's 21.
Yeah.
But where, like, you had a child and you're going through all your own shit and all your own stories and all the heavy weights that you're carrying from your own childhood, and then you're getting this little bundle, and you're just like, huh, now what?
What the fuck do I do now? 100%.
Yeah. Are you open to talking about culture and your journey with him and what changes have sort of played out for you guys over the last? So I think that could really help someone that could be listening. So especially in my like in my heritage, my culture, autism, ADHD, you know, behavioral things. And culture's your second, yes?
Culture is my second child. So he is he's 7 this year. He's just started talking probably when he was 5.5. Started talking. Before that, he was nonverbal, would just like make sounds, was in nappies till 5. Lots of behavior issues. Because in my, like, I'm Samoan, and in our community, it's not ever spoken about. Like it is on the come up now. Like you see lots of people like advocating, which is freaking amazing. Because when I first started out with culture, I had no idea what I was doing. And he was just seen as this naughty kid that needed a smack. And as his mom, I knew something was off, and everyone would be like, you know, no, he's just different. Boys are slower than girls. And I just knew in my gut the way that he was behaving, like he'd have these crazy meltdowns, and I thought I was going insane, or like, oh, I wasn't a good mom because how is my kid acting out like this? And before that, I thought, man, like when it was just Imani, when it was just my eldest, I thought I'm killing it. Like once she got to about 4 or 5, I was like, man, I'm killing it. I'm so good at this. And then I brought culture into the mix. And when he was about 2 or 3, just before he got to 3, I noticed that things were off. So dove into getting him looked at, and realized, well, got a diagnosis finally that he's level 3 autism, ADHD, all the things. So we decided not to send him to mainstream school. And I homeschool him.
What's that process like to make that decision? I know Jesse, because of his age, he's December 22nd. We considered holding him back, but legally we couldn't. And to do it, to apply to do it, we were told that they were just like, it's just not even worth the process. And I'm like, well, I just don't know that he's emotionally ready. He's fine and doing fine, but he is the youngest. He plays in his footy team with kids that have already turned 7 in January, and he's still 6 until December. So like that age difference developmentally is hard enough for my child. I can't imagine you popping culture into, say, Jesse's year group and expecting a result like we have enough trouble with Jesse. Academically, he's doing okay, but behaviorally, we still have a lot of issues too because he's the youngest out of the lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think it's also, it was hard because I needed to let go of the expectation, which, again, I've been conditioned to be like kids should be a certain way. So although I've been working at it for almost 11 years, it doesn't make it any easier. Like it's still like you're still chipping away at it. So it was hard to come to that decision, especially because I thought like I can't, like I dropped out in halfway through year 11 or 10, whatever it was. And I was like, I can't homeschool my kid. And I like during that COVID period, we had the homeschooling and I was like, there's absolutely no way. Like I just thought that, but it's so different to that. It's nothing like what we've already experienced, like with the COVID schooling from home. It's completely different, and it wasn't as hard as it's made out to be.
Yes.
Like for me, I only saw that option, and because he wasn't talking yet, and again, maybe this is just my fear holding me back, I refused to send him to school when he couldn't communicate. You know, he couldn't tell me, you know, what he did at school today, or if someone had hurt him, like that's not something that he could tell me. So I refused, again, to put him in a situation where it would ever be a thing. But it was a hard choice because, well, I say hard, but it was the only choice. But it was hard because it's my fear. It's I'm not good enough. I can't homeschool him. I'm not going to be able to do this if I'm a high school dropout and I've got, 3 kids now by the time he was homeschooling. But like I said, we just soldiered on. He's doing great. He talks. I wouldn't say they're sentences, but like he can communicate and tell you, what he likes and things like that. And I just know because I'm his mum and I find it hard, and I'm the person that loves him most in the world. I just thought there's no way that I could send him to school for him to be in a class full of like 20 other kids that have an array of issues, because like when you send them to a special needs school or whatever, they're not all with the same diagnosis,
Yes, you're putting them in a room with different.
You're putting them in a room with, and I just think like there may be 3-4 support teachers, but my son, I know, on my own son, I know he needs that one-on-one care. So it's like I couldn't trust that by putting him into school it was the best thing for him. So I just had to pull my socks up and be like, and it's hard, man. I'm crying a lot of the time. And I'm like, what the fuck, I have no idea, and we're winging it, but that's motherhood, right? You don't fucking know what you're doing. You're just trying your best. You're creating, because there's no blueprint, there's no manual, but you create one as you go, and like you start to figure out like, no, I'm not down for this. This doesn't work for us. It's hard because you're like, what am I fucking them up by? It's so hard, but you just get out of your own head, have a cry, let it out, and then you just go. Something my partner always does is like, just last night I was like, I'm going through it because my daughter's reaching an age where she's also coming through with the emotions, and it's just like, fucking hell, like I'm trying to also let her be her own person and like let out, scream into the pillow if you need to,
do all the work,
do all that sort of stuff, do your prayers. Like she's a very spiritual girl, so she'll pray on things, and
love that.
So I'm just like, do all those things, but then it's also like I need to check myself because I'm just like, fuck.
Oh, 100%. Just this week I had a very moody someone in my house, and I just went, I understand you're not feeling well. I understand you might be tired from your choices last night of staying up too late because I told you to go to bed at this time and I trusted you. So if you're feeling tired and frustrated, cool. I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah.
You speak to me nicely or I do fucking nothing. Yeah. How about that? How about I don't wash the clothes, I don't make the food, I don't clean the things, I don't give you the money. How about that? Because pull your head in for a second. You're speaking to me and I'm a human.
Yeah.
I just woke up and you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how it felt. And said with so much love, and so, Menace went back in the pocket and off we went.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the conversations that need to happen, especially with young women that are growing into themselves.
And little bastards, because you have those conversations, and on the flip side, just like, I feel so fucking bad. I don't want to be the bad guy, but fuck me.
Man. Yeah, I've had to have the conversation where I'm like, I don't want to be the hard ass. Like, I don't want to ask you 4 times to do the thing.
I hate the sound of my voice too, babe.
Like
what? I get it. It's fucking.
I know. I feel like, you know, you guys have been through it, obviously being a young mum and then having your second with special needs essentially and needing that additional support. You making the decision to homeschool means that you're also full-time support and care for him as well as your other kids. Yeah. You've got two more.
Yeah, two more.
Beautiful children.
Beautiful kids.
Everyone's beautiful, obviously, but, you know, just having that extra weight on your shoulders too as a mother is something that I haven't experienced, but I know so many mums are. What's one piece of advice, even if it's polarizing, what's something that you would say to a woman listening who is in the thick of it right now with their child that might be going through different tests and different awareness things to learn about more about their kid to get a better understanding of where they're at? What would you say to them?
Something I wish I knew back then was you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to. I think a lot of the time in like the therapies and like the diagnosis, it's like, okay, so what's your end goal? What's your overall goal? How are you moving towards that? And sometimes, I mean, although goals are great to have, it can add a lot of stress, pressure to mums, because it's like especially if you're navigating your first special needs kid. I mean, navigating motherhood is hard enough, but when you add that extra layer to it, I think I just felt the pressure to have it all sorted or figured out, and like, okay, what are you doing about it, and what are you doing this? Just recently, I've just sort of let go again of the expectation, and I see it as day by day, like, what are his behaviors today? How can I navigate it to get through today with us both being safe? Because at the moment, you know, he's got like aggression is a massive thing, and I've got, you know, so rather than being like, okay, this is what we're going to complete this week, or this is what we're going to achieve, these are the overall goals that we're working towards, just like, how can I make today work? How can I make sure that he gets through it happy or as best he can? And what am I doing for myself? Because I think in the early stages of, you know, mothering him, I completely lost myself and was very sad and very depressed because I had consumed myself in motherhood. So something that I'm trying to work on now is focusing on myself as well, because I become like anyone, you become not the best version of yourself,
100%.
Not the best mum, unless you're taking the time. So,
and I think that's probably what's formed our relationship, is just like finding ourselves in the gym again and finding a friendship in the gym and finding a person in a similar season that gets it. You can feel so alone and like your partner's there and your partner's great and you fucking love having them in your life. But also it's like sometimes you feel like you need to serve them as well, because they're a part of the people in the lineup of, Kate, I've done, you're done. Yep, Kate, you're next in line kind of thing. Yeah. And it sounds so silly, but finding connection with someone that gets that. Yeah. And then also going into the gym and like, the gym's yours, both of us. It's our only time of day. Yeah. So if we don't get there, we don't get that time of day. Yeah. So if you don't get that snippet of self-love and time to yourself and time to just process, just being in the car on your own for me is a privilege.
I don't have to choose I don't have to listen to the shit that you want to listen to. Amazing.
100%. And the fighting
I can't stand it.
Fighting's always will and always will be a triggering thing for me. It's something I'm still working through to this day. I do not enjoy being around it. It's frustrating as hell for me. So putting all 4 kids in the car, when I do, I avoid it best I can. But yeah, in saying that, like, just time to yourself is so important. And on the journey of motherhood, it's pivotal that you experience it in the day-to-day. But like we were saying this morning, you're like, babe, didn't get to the gym. I didn't get there either. I haven't been there this week. And I've been pretty fucking hard on myself about that. And that's a topic I'll talk about on the podcast a bit later in a solo ep. But I know how important it is if I don't fucking get myself to that gym every day or as many times as I can. It starts to take apart the pieces of me being able to be the best version of me. Yeah. It shouldn't, because it doesn't make me feel like I'm, you know, gaining weight, and I don't feel like I'm less than or anything like that. But it's like, this is the space that I get to myself outside of being alone. Like, today's great. Podcast days are fucking fab because I get connection out of it, and I'm talking to women I love, and I'm like, we're good. So podcast days are great. But when I'm sitting at my desk all day long, coaching, dealing with problems that aren't my own, or potentially just sitting and doing admin and content, it's very isolating and very lonely. And that might mean that I don't speak to another human outside of my kids and husband for like 3 days sometimes. And that's not okay for me. I need more. Yeah. And I think that human connection is really important. Yeah. So if you don't do enough of it, what would you say to women that aren't currently doing anything about that and getting time to themselves? What would you encourage them to do?
pick something, one thing. It doesn't even have to be like, if you're not into the gym, it doesn't have to be that. Going for a walk without the kids, like, and it's hard. Like, I get it. Like, I'm still trying to accept that it's okay to step away from the kids, but just choose one thing, even if it's like getting your hair done without the kids, or but make it something that it's consistent. Put it in your calendar.
Yeah, I love that.
So that you know that that's there and it's a non-negotiable, because you reach burnout and then your kids suffer. And I think that's another way that I've started to look at it is like, if I'm not doing this, because a lot of the time I start to feel guilty, especially now that I've got the 4 kids and I'm just coming out of like, you know, my postpartum bubble. It's so hard for me to be like, no, I can do this. I'm here fucking 24/7. Like, it's okay for me to spend 1 or 2 days out of the month to fucking go and do something for myself, or spend 1 hour at the gym where it's just me. Because I used to take the baby with me for a very long time, but it's like, okay, it's still not for me. Like, I've still got the fucking baby that I'm attending to while I'm in the gym session. So it's like one thing, no kids. And even if it's a little thing, like going for a coffee by yourself, like that sounds so, that would have sounded so dumb to me. Like, I'm not going to sit at a cafe by myself. Like, what's the point of that?
Oh, fucking heaven. Oh, how relaxing.
How relaxing. So just pick one thing. Start small, otherwise you're going to overwhelm yourself. Like, I find that when I was trying to do too much too soon, I was like overwhelmed. Pick one thing, make sure it's like a reoccurring thing, and stick to it. Put it in your calendar, make it a non-negotiable, and you'll get there, man. You'll get there.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. I love the gym. I love going there. I love training with you. Like I've said to you before, it's not the same when we're not training together. Plus, I love everyone at the gym.
We do.
Everyone's great. Like, you know, when you just find that person that is, you sort of just want to hang out with, and they push you and they know how to push you that little bit further to get the result right. That's what I love about it so much. I didn't think I'd have that. I had it years ago when I first started training at Planet Fitness with a woman, and we didn't really fall out. She just had some personal stuff going on, and I didn't think I'd find it again, and I found it, and it's so nice. It's like I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think I said to you, and I was like, oh my God, forming a friendship in adulthood is a wild time, and it's so nice. It's like, hey, you want to be my friend?
Do you want to sit in the car at 5 a.m? And we did that.
Yes, we did. And like, I think as well, when I first started back after the baby, like we all partnered together, and like you were just like straight up, let's go.
And I get Sam out of the pram and just like, it's mine, it's fine, I got him.
Yeah, and I'm like sweet as like, and because like, but again, it's because we were in similar seasons, so I was just like, fuck, man, like, and I didn't feel like it was a burden. Like, you getting the baby, I was like, oh fuck, she's got 4 kids. Like,
it's way, and that's what I had that when I was first training after when I had Jessie and I had the newborn, and I was. A whole other conversation, but that was a fucked up gym, but it was also like 16 weeks of going all in on myself for my wedding, which I spoke about earlier. But at that place I had a newborn. So I took this newborn to every session 2 to 3 hours a day, non-stop. I trained my little heart out, but I had women that had kids, so that we would pick up my child when he was crying. They'd be like, no, finish your set. Or no, go for your run. I got him. And that's what I needed. I needed that permission from another woman to say, I've got you. You finish what you're doing. 100%. And that's why I do it too with any mum that's in the gym. I'm like, you do you. I'll hold the baby as long as you're comfortable with it. Let me pick up the kid, because you deserve this time. And this time shouldn't be interrupted by a couple of little tears, because Bubs just wants to be held. So we'll hold and swap out between sets. It's so fun. I pretty much like you were throwing him to me at one point. Like,
me, Chris.
Here you go, take the kid.
There was one time you were having a conversation. I was like, Chris, get the baby.
I'm in my set.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, love that. I feel like for you, you're in such a cool season I feel like you're coming back into who you are, or not who you were, but who you're always meant to be almost. Like, kids are all getting that little bit older. You're finding your flow with the gym and your rhythm in life. You know, even though you're in the thick of it, I know with culture, there's still consistency with your life right now with all 4 kids, and things are starting to just start to flow. Do you feel like that's right?
Yeah, for sure. I think, because my partner not allows me, but he gives me the opportunity to be in this season. Like, I feel for a long time, I was just like, no, I can't do this. Like, it's too much if I'm like asking to go, like not asking, but seeking, wanting to go and do this, you know, all of these things. Because it's a massive, like, I'm like, are you good? Like, you're sweet. Because it's making sure that he's all good too, because he's the breadwinner in our household. So he's the one making the money. If one income household these days is fucking tough, man. And you throw 4 kids into it, and then, you know, I'm not complaining. We all make our choices, all got the same amount of hours in the day, but, you know, we've made the choice that I stay home, he's the breadwinner. But because we're also trying to give our kids a life that we didn't have, we invest a lot of our money into our kids, like with sport and Cairo. And it's like, you know, so he carries a lot of weight. And I think without him being the man that he, or with him being the man that he is, it's allowed me to fall back into my femininity.
Love it.
And not be so on guard and be like hustle and bustle, like, you know.
Yeah, you don't need to hustle.
He reminds me that I've got to, like,
and I think when we've got like the man providing for women, especially if you are doing the stay-at-home mum gig, you feel like you're a burden if you're asking that permission to go to the gym and do things like that, because you're like, oh no, the kids is my job. So if someone wakes and you're not getting your sleep, that's going to fall into your day. Yeah, that's going to fuck up things. So I can't risk that. I won't give myself that permission. Yeah. But having those conversations as well, I think so important for the relationship dynamic is when the man is doing the providing financially. Because there needs to be the equality expectation of, I've got the kids in the same in the hours you're working. Yep. Outside of that, it's teamwork. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, our kids are still coming into our bed at night sometimes, and it's so frustrating because I'm like, you know, I know Steve's got to get up and go to work tomorrow, but as do I, so we teamwork it. Yeah. He's like, you're doing the same thing, babe. Like, and I'm like, but you know, you're going to run a bigger company than mine, or you've got staff, and it's just little old me on my desk. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we have those conversations, because if you're having unconscious expectations play out, it's going to build resentment and you're going to have shit go down, and you don't want that. So you need to honor yourselves and honor the relationship, and that just in turn honors the whole family dynamic, right?
And we've been there, like we've been there with the resentment and, you know, oh, you get to do this and you get to do that. And like, you know, I used to be like that all the time. I'm like, well, I have to fucking stay with you, you know what I mean? Especially because I've only been a stay-at-home mom for the last 3-ish years. Like before that I used to work, and that's been a hard transition for me because I'd been working since I was 14.
It's an identity piece too. It's like success is measured in that, right?
Yeah, and I'm so used to having like my own bank, but like, my partner, he allows me that space, and if it wasn't for him, like I'd still be like, no, I can't do anything, because like wanting to get my hair done, I used to be like, fuck, I can't do that, like I don't even work, you know what I mean? But
what I did the other day, I booked my hair to get curled because it takes me an hour to do it, right? And I was like, I don't have fucking time to curl my hair to go out tonight. I need to finish what I'm doing at work. And I just rang, I booked, and it was like $25, and they curled my hair. My hair was washed. I just didn't have the time to curl it myself. I knew it would have been in a slick back had I not. Yeah. I was like, I just really want it curled tonight. Like, I want to be pretty. God damn it. And I booked the appointment, walked in, was on my laptop, did an hour of work while they did my hair, walked out. I was like, fuck. Time saver, babe.
Literally a time saver, and I feel great. So like win-win for everyone. Yeah,
100%. Called an Uber up to the John Hunter to see my nan, who's in hospital at the moment, a couple of weeks ago, and there was traffic. So I was in the Uber for like 10, 15 minutes. I actually got 3 pieces of content done in that Uber. I'm like, this is a hack.
Time savvy, great.
This is a hack being in an Uber. Like whoever needs to hear this, it is a fucking hack. Do your work in the Uber.
Get an Uber.
Fuck driving.
Get an Uber. And don't wash your hair. Just go in, you know, it's a luxury, but like, you know what I mean?
Of course it is, but I made money in the time that I was doing it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Slay. It's a slay.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like we could sit here and talk for fucking hours, but this was such a cool conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the pod today and sharing your story, sharing your journey, sharing your parenting experiences. I feel like there's going to be I know I'll get messages from other moms being like, fuck, that landed or that resonated or I needed that. So for anyone who wants to connect with you outside of this conversation, where do they find you?
My Insta is by Justice, BYJUSTICE, BOWER.
Beautiful.
I'm on Insta. That's my main thing. Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes of the app for anyone that wants to chat to Tasha Justice or jump into her DMs. If you're in the thick of it right now in parenting, like she's your girl, come in and have a chat.
Yep. Love it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, babe.
Bye.